How you doing?
This is Jessica.
This is Jaymie.
From Hot for Justice.
If you didn't know.
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I am just living my best last little bit of disability here before I go back to work. Yeah. As we're listening to this, or as we're recording this, I have not gone back to work yet, but as of when this goes out, I believe I'll be 2 weeks back in the saddle.
She'll have an update for us in next week's episode, I think.
Yes, I should.
On how that's going.
Yeah, because as of right now, I'm, have only done like a month and maybe some change of physical therapy.
Yes.
But by then I'll have had some more in my belt.
It'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Physical therapy is hard.
Physical therapy is fucking hard.
It really hurts.
Yeah, like, trying to describe to someone, like, how to make a fist for the first time in, like, 2 months, and, like, how difficult it is, like, otherworldly.
Yeah. But, when we get to our dicking off section, we can talk more about PT stuff.
The joys of physical therapy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So this week, I have another Jane Doe.
Wow, back-to-back Jane Does.
So this one actually, like, really hit me because it happened this year. It was, like, really recent, and they need help identifying who this woman was. And I saw her face, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sad, because she's beautiful. So this is from New Jersey. Police need the assistance in identifying Jane Doe. She was found dead in the middle of June 2020 by the railroad tracks in Elizabeth, New Jersey. They released a sketch of her. I'm assuming they didn't want to post what she actually looked like, because they would only have a picture of her deceased, and I don't know what injuries she had. They also posted a photo of the vehicle that they think is a suspect or might be involved in her murder. The vehicle is believed to be a light-colored Toyota Highlander that has brightly polished rims and a roof rack, and they estimate it's between 2006 like model.
Okay.
The Jane Doe examination determined that she was a black and or Hispanic female, aged 25 to 35. She had a slender build, and she was between 5'6" and 5'7", and approximately weighed between 125 and 140 pounds. She had really short hair, like really, it was like
buzzed?
Like really, yeah, basically. And they believe that she might have worn like a wig or something else, like to cover her head. She had double piercings in both ears. So she's pretty distinctive looking, and I feel like people would, like, if you looked at her, you might know who she is. The car, that's an important lead. Otherwise, there's literally nothing else.
Good God.
On her. Like, nothing. And again, it's not surprising because she's a woman of color, and, like, these cases, I mean, maybe it's just because the police haven't released a lot of information about it, but yeah, so this happened literally like 6 months ago.
And I feel like the times that we're in right now, like, I don't really know how much investigative work is, like, really happening. Like, I don't want to, like, say that because, like, that sounds shitty.
Yeah.
But, like, how much stuff can they get done in the middle of a pandemic? I'm really just, it's a serious question. Like, I just don't know.
That's fair. That is fair. I know, like, living with a police officer, that things seem to be, like, operating as normal, but there might be, like, other precautions that detectives have to take as opposed to, like, a patrol officer.
Right, like, that's what I was thinking, because it's like, okay, like, do they, are there less warrants than, like, that we're normally going out? Or, I mean, like, I really don't know.
It's probable too that because they don't even know who she is, they don't even know, like, where to start, and that's interesting to me. If she's found with no identification, I'm wondering how they know that car is connected to it.
Yeah, and like, how does...
I'm assuming there's some surveillance video just because of the picture they have of the car.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, it's strange, and she's a young woman, and this is, like, something super actionable. I don't know how many listeners we have are from New Jersey or, like, from a neighboring state. But take a look, because you might know who she is.
Yeah, you literally never know.
Really, truly, you never know. Yeah, that's it.
Wowzers.
That's all I could find. One news article about her, and I only found the news article because I found it on Reddit.
Oh my god.
Bless you, Reddit people.
Bless you, Reddit. So my case also stems from the Reddit machine by user XEMac.
Okay.
And I reached out to this fellow. I'm assuming it's a man. I really couldn't tell you. It's a really good friend of the victim.
Okay.
So, who killed my friend Ben? I will repost this every year until his killer is found.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
Yeah. Ben was murdered in cold blood in Knoxville, Tennessee in October of 2016. To this day, his senseless murder goes unsolved with no clues. Who killed our friend Ben? Loved ones remember the 28-year-old Knoxville native as a free-spirited artist who taught himself to play a variety of instruments and constantly doodled on any scrap of paper at hand. Goofy, quirky, kind-hearted, and memorable, Jernigan could quickly grab the attention of anyone in a room and hold it even after he was gone. Much like his personality, the circumstances of his killing don't fit the mold either. By all appearances, he wasn't mixed up in drugs. He didn't run with a bad crowd. There were no conflicts with family or friends. As far as the evidence suggests, it was mere happenstance, a brief bit of car trouble that stopped him within walking distance of home in the early hours of October 8th of 2016, just long enough to cross paths with his killer. Robbery is believed to have been the motive, but even that fails to explain the why. Jernigan had little money, his family would say, and likely would have given whatever he had under the threat of a gun. It's hard to get your head around, said his father, Guy Jernigan. You can drive yourself crazy trying to dwell on those last seconds. But that's not Ben. I don't want everything about Ben to be those last few seconds. It's about how he lived. Among those who knew Jernigan best, they still struggle to define him. Ben was a whole bunch of things wrapped into one, said his sister Amanda Forrester. He was not one for formal structure. He was super intelligent but could walk out of the house and forget to close the front door. Thumbing through family photos, his mother Barbara noted how awkward Jernigan appears while holding his young niece, Lila. Yet he proved to be a natural babysitter when he reached for his guitar, keeping the rambunctious toddler mesmerized with renditions of The Girl from Ipanema and Dream a Little Dream. Jernigan had no clear plan after high school, fascinated by all things artistic and in no hurry to choose a path into adulthood. He recognized that about himself, though. He enlisted in the Navy at age 18 in an attempt to gain more responsibility. He served nearly 3 years as a mass communication specialist, learning photography and videography. After completing his military service, he enrolled at the University of Tennessee on the GI Bill to study medical laboratory science, where, to the surprise of his family, proved to be a very disciplined and successful student. By October of 2016, he had wrapped up his summer studies and decided to take a break for the fall semester before finishing his undergraduate degree. On the day of his death, with the stress of school at bay, Jernigan went out to celebrate at a friend's birthday. For Ben, it's what I consider a perfect day for him, Guy Jernigan said. They started the night at Sassy Ann's and ended up at one of his favorite night spots, Urban Bar in the Old City. Jernigan loved karaoke. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, karaoke is one of the few things that I don't miss about the pandemic.
Karaoke is not my jam.
No, and even watching other people do it, while it's usually funny the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, it depends on how drunk I am, but usually it's pretty cringe.
Yeah. Actually, I've only done karaoke exactly one time. And it's actually a really funny story. I digress really briefly. Brandon and I one time, I was not quite 21. Let me just say. We went to this place near my parents' house, this place is the worst. I'm not even going to say their fucking name. Also, they served an underage person, so it's neither here nor there. Yeah, so don't.
Anyways,
me and Brandon get up and do a wonderful rendition of 500 Miles by the Proclaimers.
I bet that was fantastic.
Well, it's great, because you don't actually have to sing that song, you just speak it.
That's so true.
Which is why we did it.
Facts.
Anyways. He loved karaoke. Again, I don't know anyone that genuinely loves karaoke, so good for him. Credit card receipts indicate that he left around 2:30 in the morning, catching a ride from a friend back to his car. According to his father, by around 3:30 in the morning, a traffic camera spotted him turning off of Broadway onto Fairfax Avenue. His mother's house, where he lived, was a few blocks from there. Jernigan had taken his car for an oil change earlier that day. Coincidentally, the mechanics had failed to reset the car's rear impact safety device, And as he drove over a bumpy railroad crossing near Forsyth Street, his old Lincoln Town Car bottomed out and the safety device shut down the fuel pump. The car died in the middle of the roadway. A nearby resident called E911 at 5:45 to report a car stalled along Fairfax. The responding officer found Jernigan slumped over the center console of the car, with the owner's manual pulled from the glove box and the interior light still on. He had been shot once in the chest at point-blank range. His driver's license, student ID, and other contents of his wallet were strewn about the car. The proximity of the crime scene suggests that he could have been targeted by a transient person, authorities say. No other serious crimes were reported in the neighborhood in the weeks before or after, nor had anyone reported a disturbance or a suspicious person that night, let alone gunfire. All indications are that it was a crime of opportunity, says Lieutenant Doug Stiles, the head of Knoxville Police Department's Major Crime Unit. No weapon was found at the scene. Lab test results by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation of DNA evidence collected from the items inside the car were deemed inconclusive. Knoxville Police Department investigators are weighing whether to seek additional testing from an independent lab. The lieutenant said that investigators have interviewed several persons of interest, including one who is currently jailed in another county on unrelated charges. We just need a witness, he says. We need another piece to put this together. And interestingly enough, one of the commenters on Reddit went through and they said that, there were several unsolved homicides that go back decades in Knoxville, but there's actually one similar to Ben's that happened back in 2009. And I found an article about it from the City of Knoxville website, I believe. Mm-hmm. So the Knoxville Police Department is continuing to seek information concerning the unsolved 2009 murder of 23-year-old Gina Thacker. On February 8th, 2009, Knoxville PD investigators responded to 3504 Oak Branch Circle off of Valley View Drive in North Knoxville, where Thacker was found suffering from multiple gunshot wounds and pronounced deceased. Over 11 years later, the case is still open and there remain no suspects or leads. On the night of her murder, investigators determined that Gina left Spicy's off of Emery Road alone around 2 in the morning. That's a nightclub. 2 hours later, she was found shot to death in her vehicle at the Valley Oaks apartment complex, where she had no known connections. Huh. Yeah. Evidence at the scene.
That's weird.
Yeah. Evidence at the scene points to a likely robbery. A green purse strap was found in the parking lot just outside of the driver's side door of the victim's car, indicating that there was likely a struggle of some kind. There was also the possibility that she had a passenger in her vehicle prior to the murder, as the passenger seat was reclined back. Officers also located drug paraphernalia in the course of their investigation. Her phone, purse, and personal effects have never been recovered. There's no cameras at the apartment complex at the time of the murder, nor did any witnesses come forward. There was minimal physical evidence, and only a few fingerprints were recovered, and all of the fingerprints belonged to either the victim or first responders.
Wow.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I don't know if they are necessarily connected, but
yeah, similar.
Yeah, similar enough, wee hours of the morning after, a night of fun, basically.
And in
a random shooting that seems to make no sense.
That's so sad.
Yeah, so, again, I'll be posting links and such to these articles so that you can read them and, decide for yourself what you think. And if you're in that area, maybe you know something, or maybe someone you know something. Yeah. Fucking crazy town.
Seriously. Yeah, I mean, both of these cases are fairly recent.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we have listeners in that area, but, you have a chance to do some good.
Absolutely.
There. So.
Ready to dick off?
Well, we've reached our dicking off section. Well, I wanted to continue our PT conversation.
Oh, yes, physical therapy.
So I went to a physical therapist for my ankle, and because I still do not have much range of motion.
Jesus Christ.
I have more than I started with, though. So there's something.
And you've had what? At least 2 surgeries?
2.
Okay, I wasn't sure if there was a third when you were younger or not.
No, just 2. I love to read, so when I go places, especially if I'm going to be there for a while, like a doctor's appointment, I'll bring a book with me. And I brought a book, and my doctor was like, "You are the only millennial who's ever come in here and read instead of been on their phone.
Yeah.
And so every week he would comment on me bringing a book, and he'd even comment, because all of his other patients mostly were old, and he'd be like, look, she's reading. And I'm like, wow, this is sad. This is sad for our generation.
Right? Fuck.
It was funny though. But yeah, PT, man. I went for a long time, but mostly just because I really liked my doctor. He was really great, and like it helped a lot. Like, I think I kind of knew that I wouldn't get as much range of motion. Yeah. Even like continuing to go obviously helped like a little bit, but yeah. Once I got too pregnant to like do the exercises, I was like, okay, I can't come anymore.
Oh my gosh.
So funny.
That's actually hella funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right now, and it's so funny because like, so with my PT stuff, because it's my hands, and like one of my biggest issues is like grip strength and like wrist strength. So I've been playing with like what I'll call silly putty. They have like different firmnesses of it, and like you form it with your hands and kind of squeeze it and whatever. Bitch, when I tell you that I didn't know that silly putty could make your hand muscles sore.
Yeah.
Because like they start you out with like the like, I guess the most like least dense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find
it's easier to mold.
And then like I skipped like one because it was like still too easy, and then I'm like on like the third level of, goddamn, like shit's hard.
I bet.
It's like cold Play-Doh, but like worse.
I can't imagine that would be really hard to do. Even not injured.
Yeah, and then I have these like the two wimpiest resistance bands I've ever seen, but like it's like, and like I have to like do these like wrist movements and stuff.
Yep.
And when I tell you it's like some of the hardest shit I've ever done. Like I can deadlift over 200 pounds. Like
I had to do that with a resistance band too for my foot, and like flex it.
Yeah.
Out. It's very hard.
Yeah, and like you don't think about how like you think like, oh, like that's a simple movement, and like this like 1 pound resistance band is gonna do nothing for me. But then after the 10 reps of it, you're like, kill me now. Yeah. Like I would like for my hand to fall off.
Right. If you have an injury, we encourage and endorse PT. It will help you. It's difficult though.
Yeah, like my physical therapist, like, because I actually did my exercises like I was supposed to, when I went back, like, the 2 weeks later, she was like, holy fucking shit, like, you're doing really well. Like, most people don't do their homework.
Well,
so do your physical therapy homework.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Another dicking off point, I finished a book by, it's the latest in like the Strike series by Robert Galbraith, aka knockoff J.K. Rowling. Fake J.K. Rowling.
It's not J.K.
It's called, right. It's called Troubled Blood. It's like the fifth book, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really like the series. Okay, and I know you just said, we were talking about it, you don't want to give her money because she's been talking some shit on Twitter.
She has been talking some shit.
J.K. Rowling, I'm disappointed. And I actually saw a really interesting TikTok where someone was talking about how she tries to make like her books seem like they're diverse, even Harry Potter, but it's always added in after the fact.
Yeah.
It's always been like sprinkled in later on. So I thought that was interesting, and when she wrote these, it wasn't as much of a thing, and it should have been. I'm not saying that it shouldn't have been, but it wasn't. And so, and I meant Harry Potter. When she started writing the Strike books, she should have known better, but she didn't. But anyway, they are good books if you like mysteries. It's like super thick too, like the Harry Potter books. Like it's 800 pages. Ooh. It's so good. I read it in like 4 days. I digress. It's very good. Please read it. There's also a show, and you know me, I love some British TV.
I do love some British TV.
So the first 3 seasons or series, as the Brits do it, are like, there's like 6 episodes, and then the latest series is on BBC Player, but you have to get like a VPN to watch it.
Oh yeah, because it's British. Yeah,
big fucking hassle. I don't think I'd recommend.
But if you have the ability to do that, apparently it's very good.
Yeah, you can also watch it on YouTube for free, but it's like dubbed over and like not dubbed over. It has like Russian subtitles or something, or like another language. It's really irritating to look at, and it's also like it zooms in weird places, so you can't quite like grasp what's going on.
That reminds me. So right at the beginning of the Christmas season, we purchased Home Alone on Amazon Prime because we realized we didn't own it, and of course this was like the week before they fucking put it on Disney.
Of course,
because I'm pretty sure ended up adding it to Disney Plus like the week after we bought it.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus, all three of them.
Yeah, so we watched Home Alone 2 on Disney Plus, but anyways, I digress.
It's fine.
It was only like $3, so it's not like it was like a huge fucking expense.
You need it to your collection,
Right. So we were like, whatever, it's $3, we'll buy fucking Home Alone. Somehow, we didn't purchase the like regular version of this film. Only certain bits, mind you. Like anytime on the screen where they had like a sign saying what the place was, that part was subtitled in like German.
Weird.
But only places that had like a sign outside, or like things with a sign outside. So like the like vans that like came and picked them up at the beginning of the movie, like to take them to the airport.
Yeah.
The name of the like travel company is like in the bottom subtitled in German. None of the movie is subtitled. None of the talking is subtitled.
That's why it's $3.
Like what? Like
that's really weird.
Yeah, like we were watching it, we were like, what? Because I saw it first. Like,
what in the fresh fuck?
Yeah, like Zach didn't notice, like it, like because it just like flashed across the screen, and I was like, there was like a random German subtitle, and he was like, "Bitch, you're high," like, and I was like, "Bitch, I might be," but but I wasn't. Like, no, like, I'm not gonna say I wasn't high because the jury's out. I mean, this was weeks ago.
Don't lie.
You never know. I'm not gonna say that I've never partook in the devil's cabbage.
Listen, it's fine if you're, it's fine if you're using responsibly.
Yeah, everyone's entitled to use some
you.
electric lettuce,
Right. Electric lettuce? Oh my god.
Have you never heard that?
No. Okay, I support it. Whatever you want to do, like, you do you.
Anywho.
Weed does nothing for me.
Unfortunate.
Not a thing. So, I am very, like, I don't know these terms you're throwing out, and I'm really enjoying them, so continue. What did you call it? Devil's cabbage?
The devil's cabbage, electric lettuce. I mean, there's a lot of, whatever you want to call it.
I love it. I'm, like, really here for
I'll come up with a new euphemism for you for next week. Okay, thank you. But anyway, sure as shit, like, a few minutes later, like, another one rolls across the bob, and I was like, see, look, I'm not making it up. Like...
Pause. That's so
it was
funny.
Hella funny.
What did he say?
Huh?
What did Zach say?
He was just like, what did we buy? Like, because, like, we looked back at the listing after we were, like, done watching. Nowhere in the description does it say that, like, it's randomly subtitled.
German.
And, again, it's literally only things that, like, had, like, a title. Like, the name of the airport, like, had, like, the subtitle.
How weird.
None of the talking. None of the plot.
Maybe it's hacked. Maybe you got hacked.
Maybe. I mean, the Russians came for America a few weeks ago, so...
You know.
Yeah, so, maybe the Germans are coming to get us.
Maybe. I don't know.
But anyways, that's not what I came to talk about. So, my dicking off. I've read some really fucking good books on Kindle Unlimited lately. So, you talking about books spurred that for me. I've been reading...
Oh, did you read something with your gift card yet?
I bought a book. Or actually, I bought a few books. I haven't read them yet because I was finishing up these ones. Okay. So these are... If you have a Kindle or even an iPhone or any smartphone, I guess. Yeah, I sound like an old person.
Even an iPad, you can download the Kindle app.
Yeah, the app is free
from there.
Kindle Unlimited is a $10 a month service, but you can return and rent as many books from their library as you'd like. Like, as many.
But you can also just buy them straight out and read them. Like, you don't have to, because I don't no, I'm sorry, I'm taking over. I'm taking off. I don't particularly like to read off of a Kindle, but, like, there was one book we read that you couldn't get it in print anywhere. So you had to buy it off
It was that No Stone
Kindle.
Unturned.
Yes. And it was really interesting, but I had to read it on my iPad.
Same.
So, yeah.
So, the book, I'll tell you really quickly, the books I bought with the gift card you sent me, I haven't read them yet, but they're, like, next to my list because I'm finishing up a couple of books for Why Do You Like This? Shameless self-promo.
Hit it.
We're actually still in the middle of a true crime season over there, so, like, go check that out if you want to hear mine and Jackson's thoughts about some murderers.
All right.
So the books I bought with the gift card you sent me are Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens.
Okay, I've seen that.
I've seen so many people on Instagram talk about it and say it's fabulous, so I was like, okay, I'll try it.
Okay.
And then the other book I got, actually, I take it back. I bought 3 books. I got White Fragility because I haven't read that yet.
It's so good.
I knew that was a recommendation from you specifically, so I was like, oh, I'll buy that. And then I have recently, because I've had all this fucking time to sit my ass on the couch and watch fucking TV, I watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest on Netflix. Okay. I mean, it's the original movie from however fucking long ago that they did it. But I watched it for the first time, and I was like, wow, that movie was really fucking good, so I bought the book, because it was like $2 or $3. But a few, God, I'm honestly embarrassed by even saying this on a podcast. I've been reading some romance novels.
Honey, saucy.
I was saying some of them are spicy.
Ooh.
Like, spicy. Like, they use all sorts of...
Like 50 Shades?
I wouldn't say, like, that spicy, but, like, especially, like, not bondage stuff.
Okay.
But, like...
That's fair.
Some very, like, descriptive sex scenes in some of these.
Okay.
Like, some of the things, it made me blush.
Ooh. What are they? What are the books?
Okay, so 2 of the ones that I really, really enjoyed were My Big Fat Fake Wedding and My Big Fat Fake Engagement, both by Lauren... Hold on. Of course I lost the cover. Lauren Landish.
Okay.
So these are both on Kindle Unlimited for free. So if you have the membership, you can read these books. There's a 3rd book called My Big Fat Fake Honeymoon that I have not started yet. But both of them are fucking fabulous. Highly recommend. A few other books that I've read. One is When We Believed in Mermaids by Barbara O'Neill. That's also Kindle Unlimited. Very good. And Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. She writes a lot of really good, like, like YA fiction romance type of stuff. Mm-hmm. I've read a few of her books. I'm clicking on the wrong thing on my app, but...
I wrote all of those down for you people, so to put your pens down, I got you.
Excellent. Another book by Colleen Hoover specifically that I recommend that I read, like, many moons ago is called Maybe Someday. Mm-hmm. So if you've read that, I think you will enjoy Regretting You. So all right. That's my book recs for the week.
Well, the last thing I wanted to say was that I'm gonna make a TikTok, and I'm gonna make it about a true crime case. So, yeah.
I love that for you. Are you gonna do this on, like, your personal TikTok, or you're gonna make a Hot for Justice TikTok?
I'm probably gonna make a Hot for Justice. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it on my personal one. But you wanted to do them too, and I don't want you on my personal one. So you need your own personal one. Or we can just make a Hot for Justice one.
Damn!
Well, no, it's not that I don't want you on there.
No, I know what you mean. I get it.
Because I'm going to put beating... I don't want to be just the true crime girl, because I have got other stuff going to be on there.
Yeah.
When I get my life together one day.
Yeah, so
like beating
it'll probably be a
stuff.
Hot for Justice TikTok.
Yeah. We'll like put the at in this episode.
It'll be sorted out by the time this episode goes up.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just a, flick in our brains, so...
It's pending. I have other stuff I need to get done too, but, like, that's gonna happen. So whether it's on my personal one or a Hot for Justice one, we'll just let you know.
Exactly.
Anyways.
So yeah, we'll be back
that's all I got.
Wednesday with a recap, some more unsolved mysteries, and then next week with a regular episode, and we're going to talk about some other murders or disappearances or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then next week is the first week we're going to have our serial killer thing. So we're featuring the victims of, it's like a local serial killer, serial killers. I'm going to leave their name out because fuck them. And I will talk about the victims next week.
Exactly. So that's going to be our new little series that we do, is going to be our, victim moment.
Yeah.
I'll have a better name for it.
We want it to be like victim centered.
Yeah.
People are very interested in serial killers. Obviously, like, it is a very interesting thing, and like their names will come up, but like ultimately it's about the people that they killed, and it's like really terrible, like the things they did. So we want to make it like
because
more focused on them.
Like we said at the very beginning of this podcast, like, we're for victim advocacy. That's a hard couple of words to like say together. Victim advocacy.
Yes.
So that's really, our whole goal about this is to bring justice for these victims, not to... Yeah. And I don't want to sit here and say, like, other podcasts, like, idealize serial killers, because I don't necessarily think that.
Yeah.
But, we try to take a more victim-centered approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
Yeah, so we'll catch you Wednesday and then next week.
Yep.
All right.
This is Hot for Justice. Thanks.
Toodles. Bye.
Bye.